Yeah. Welcome to the live. I'm back at it, y'all. I haven't been on here since last year. There's been a lot of shit going on. I feel like I might as well fill y'all in on it. Last time I was live on here, I believe I was in a relationship. I'm pretty sure I was. That was a while ago. So it had to be before June, because that's when I moved back to where I came from. But yeah, man, been a lot of shit going on. If y'all know, I always talk about the relationship shit and everything else. But yeah, so let's start from the beginning. Like, I pretty much started to just give up on relationships when I was 31, decided to focus on myself. And in 3 months, I started to gain the followers doing my music that I've been trying to gain for the past 20 years. And in that 3 months, I had 14,000 followers. I had record deal opportunities and everything. And then I met the girl that I was just with, right? I ended up getting hacked and I had to start over, right? But instead of focusing on starting over, I decided to be in a relationship and focus on that, obviously, because I'm 30, I was 31 at the time, no kids. I'm like, this shit is real. Like, this music starting to go up. And before that happened, it's a perfect chance to meet somebody and try to start a family. So I basically spent almost 2 years in that relationship and it went nowhere. It was just like everything else, basically. But, right when I got to the point where I was ready to start promoting my music again, my bad, I was just smoking. That's when I realized that I had to go. Like, I can't be in this relationship because this is just like everybody else. And once somebody do something behind your back, that shit is over. You know what I'm saying? So what happened? What happened is I moved back to where I'm from. Spent the next 6 months just starting over, really getting a job and making money. Just moved into my new crib, January 2025. So it took 6 months, right? Damn near 6 months almost. And the thing is, now that I'm back to it, now that I'm focused, what up? Now that I'm back focused, it's a wrap. Because I looked at my views for YouTube for the past year, 61,000. But I haven't even really did nothing. My YouTube, my TikTok, 15 million. But you gotta keep in mind, in that year that it got that much, that 15 million, I basically was going through the breakup in a relationship. So I was working, then I'm trying to stay up and do this shit, and then I'm breaking up with this girl, moving back to Wisconsin. What up? What up, y'all? Moving back to Wisconsin and then starting all the way over. So I'm like, even with all that bullshit, my TikTok had 15 million views for that year. And before that, I think it was almost 20 million. So if I would have been doing that shit on here, my shit would be up right now. What up, y'all? I appreciate it. But you know what's crazy? I was just thinking about how, what I wanted to talk about at first is how, if you a real person, relationships not gonna really work. You know how, like, you go somewhere and somebody trying to be like the parent, they being too strict, and they the boring person. You like, you doing too much. You a vibe killer. What up, man? I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Banan67. I appreciate all y'all for real. But like I was saying though, if you somebody who care, you like the boring person who always doing too much. And a lot of people not gonna say that. They'll act like they fuck with your type of person, but in reality, it's like, I remember when my relationship was ending, I can tell based off of the excuses she was making that it was like, I felt like I don't have my life no more. You get what I'm saying? People want to do what they want to do when they start to feel like, this relationship is holding them back. And I'm like, you don't have to be here. You don't have to make all these excuses either. What up? Appreciate you, man. Like, you don't have to be here. You don't got to make all these excuses. Let me go back in the house. But yeah, like, my only problem is just like, you wasting my time and yours. If you think it's better, the only issue is you being here. You ain't available for this shit. But yeah, that's crazy. I'm like, you just gotta understand. And I was talking about this earlier. You know, people talk about how the dating pool got piss in it. Imagine, like, do you know, like, if you know somebody peed in a pool, you gonna get out, right? So imagine if you've been in there the whole time. You didn't know. You didn't know this pool had piss in it. But if you get a chance to get out, right, you know what happened? You can look back on your experiences and like, yeah, it was piss in this shit. It was piss in this pool, right? And then when you hear people talking, when you see the stuff they posting on the internet, it's in fact piss in that pool. So if you got common sense, why would you want to get back in? Think about it. It's only two reasons. It's because you don't know, or because you do know. You probably the one peeing in it, and you know how to avoid the shit. You can be the player, the manipulator. You can hide your way with people, and that's what's happening. Somebody is playing the motherfucker, somebody getting played. That's all that's happening. Now, you might find somebody, right? If you dating out here, you could probably find somebody that treats you right, but that shit is too risky. Somebody who's smart, they'll want to clean the pool first before they start doing this shit again. And I can admit, it took me until I was 33 to finally realize, like, all right, I can't do this shit. But now that I know, this is the shit that I post about. This is the shit that I talk about all the time. He said I'm yapping, and you don't have to be here either, Jack. Hold on. This is what I like about YouTube. No, I ain't even try to remove it. Hold on. You lucky I can't block your ass right now. See, TikTok is better for that because I'll be able to block you. But I'm not even gonna worry about this dude. But what I was gonna say is, yeah, if you smart, you will try to filter this pool first. You get what I'm saying? You'll try to clean this shit. Imagine laying in your bed and it's dirty, crumbs everywhere, and then you complain that you can't be comfortable at night. You know what you gotta do. That's just like the world, trying to live happily ever after in a world like this without trying to fix it. Yes, it's equivalent. It's a waste of time. It's not realistic. You have to get lucky. And that's not what we not living for luck. You know, they say life is short. You only live once. What happened if you live long? See, I see a lot of older people who still gotta work, and they trying to fuck up the Social Security now. So yeah, it's difficult. What they gonna do? You gotta figure something out. Yeah, this is crazy. Like, man, the way life is set up, people mad at Snoop Dogg for performing, and I'm just like, for what? If it was Kamala Harris, nobody would have cared. Think about it. If Kamala Harris won and Snoop Dogg performed, nobody would have been mad. Why though? Like, like, why does it matter if where they performing at is the White House? Why does it matter what person is representing it? Because they got you believing it's a difference. They shake hands. Like, wasn't Kamala Harris at the shit? She was there. Think about it. Like, people so slow about it. It's just like, the left wing and the right wing will really hate each other for real. They really hate each other the same way, the Warriors might hate the Lakers fans or some shit like that. They really hate each other, but these people be on boat trips. What up? You get what I'm saying? Like, in the summertime, a lot of those people be hanging out. When Trump was just inaugurated, they had his opponents there. Like, they shake hands and shit. Congratulations, yeah. Obama was there. They was just talking to each other. Like, people really hate each other, and these motherfuckers be shaking hands. They in the same building. They share the same house. That's fucking crazy, ain't it? But they say left wing, right wing. You name one bird that don't have both in order to do what it's doing. You can't. You would never get on a plane where only the left wing worked or the right. Like, you probably gonna die. See what I'm saying? There's no bird that can fly with just one wing. I don't believe. But, you know, if they can divide people, they can distract people. And that's exactly what slows people down in life, too. They got so many things. It's like doubt, distraction, division, disability, and death. Everything start with a D that can fucking destroy you. That's fucking crazy, ain't it? Slow you down, keep you stationary, make you believe that you're supposed to work to live, and the prices keep going up, but God never charged a cent. So you will never see none of the other animals paying for this shit. We think the dogs need us. We say, oh, I rescued the dog. No, you just lonely and you need a friend, but you can convince yourself you doing a dog a favor. Yeah, you pick up dog dookie, and they would do that on the ground and just keep moving if you wasn't around. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. People get the dog and they call themselves the owner. Ain't it crazy? And you put a leash on it. You put it in a cage. Some people cut off the private parts so they can't have babies. That's exactly what slave masters did. You call yourself the owner, and you do all of that wicked shit to something that God never intended. It's not natural. If you look at society, like I've said this before, if you take a trip somewhere and you driving and you see all of the land that is not occupied by humans, everybody is in cities. This is some slave shit right here. You will never see ants stressing about food. They can smell it. We can't smell it. We can smell the food, but I'm saying, like, can you smell water? They can smell the shit. Like, when a natural event is happening, they can tell. Why can't we tell no more? Because we so far away from nature at this point that it's a lot of stuff we can't do naturally no more. So think about the bird in a bird's nest. They don't need YouTube to know how to do that. How the fuck do they know how to do that? And you know we more intelligent. Like, what happened to us? We got to go to school to get our intelligence back, and it's bullshit. The circumference of a circle and a triangle, like, what does that do for your life? Y equals MC X, whatever that stupid ass, what is that? Think about it. We can't build a house no more naturally without YouTube or going to school to learn how to build a house. And even when you're doing that, you got to pay, and you only learning how to build part of the house for somebody else. Ain't it crazy? Imagine all of the things that we came up with. It was only hard to do that because of what they took away from us. When you think about what being smart is, that's really just your memory not being compromised based off of what you injecting. So all of the geniuses out here, if you really think about what makes them smart, it's their memory. And that's where studying comes into play. When they say you got a test coming up, right? What do you have to do? You have to study. So what do you find yourself doing? You reading and you trying to memorize. And it's hard for some people. Why? Because they fucked up your memory. They fucked up your mind and everything that we supposed to naturally know how to do. But it's some people that slip through. So they might be 5 or 6 years old and they say, it's a child prodigy. We can't believe it. And he's graduating college at fucking 10 years old. How does that happen? He can read this stuff and it actually sticks the way it's supposed to. It's that simple. You see what it is? Like, you know something happened to people, right? They got humans drinking cow milk. They say you gotta drink this to go big and strong, right? But you're not a cow. Think about a baby. Well, they say, oh, the baby was 8 pounds, 9 pounds, 10 pounds if it's on the bigger side. And you start asking yourself, all right, so how big is the cow's baby? That motherfucker is huge. You talking about the baby got to drink that to grow big and strong? That's crazy, ain't it? Even, I don't think there's ever a point where a baby or a child is as big as a baby cow. I just don't see it. So imagine what's happening when you drinking that shit. That's crazy. And it'll be different if they came to you and like, here's some of my milk. But you gotta capture this shit. You gotta keep it hostage in order to get this stuff. It's not offering you it, right? I just seen a video of a duck, and it was like they was trying to go up. They was going past the waterfall, and one of the babies fell down. So instead of continuing, they all jumped down, right? And I was just thinking about how when I was in Florida, like anytime you go close to them, they get protective of the kids, right? Unless you got some food or water. And I was just thinking like, damn, so all of the animals that humans consume and they got in zoos and farms and shit like that, if they was in the wild, that wouldn't be acceptable to them, obviously. Think about how they try to survive the same way we try to survive. The same way if somebody tried to snatch you when your mom was grocery shopping, what you gonna do? They gonna try to fight. So the fact that we tell ourselves, oh, it's okay to eat that, why is their life saying something different? Why, like, why when you try to kill something, it try to survive? And what makes you think that you right and whatever that is wrong? You'll have to be living in your mind. You'll have to be telling yourself this is okay. But nothing in reality is saying that, especially when you see this thing fearing for its life. And when I found myself trying to take the life of a spider, and I failed 2 times in a row, that's when I realized, like, I'm like, I'm saying yes, this thing is saying no. I tried to hit it the first time, I missed. So I'm like, fuck it. I turned the water on because it was in the shower. And instead of it just like dying, it tucked all of its legs and arms in and it started to float in the water. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So when I turned the water off, it put all of its legs and arms down and it started to run up the whatever shower again. And I was like, damn, like this is actually crazy. So I got a cup and then it crawled up to the top and then I put some tissue over it and then I took it outside or whatever. And I was just thinking like, damn, if God is real and it's the creator of life, and that thing obviously got a life, like what would I be to try to ruin the purpose of it if we believe the devil is real? And you got to think about it. Like I said, the 2 times I tried to take the life, I failed. Then the 3rd time, I just saved a life. So it's like you always got a choice. See what I'm saying? So we can't blame God or the devil. But if we think God and the devil is real, if God is life and the devil is something that goes against that, who are you when you do that to the life that you see? A lot of people not willing to think about it like that. Because as long as you can convince yourself that what you're doing is okay because it benefits you, you can sleep better at night. And that's what they got people doing, living in your mind where you can tell yourself that wrong is right, but in reality, actions speak louder than words. So you either gonna do something right or you're gonna do something wrong. And some people say, well, that's subjective. That's just another word. And you can always tell when you're doing something right or wrong because it's positive and negative energy behind it. So the person you doing this to, you can see the reaction. It don't matter what you think is right. What matters is how you make people feel. But it's just crazy how every single problem in the world start with somebody telling themselves that wrong is right for their own benefit. But you know, they say God made us this way. We was born sinners. It's okay. God will forgive you. What about the person you did it to? Talking about God will forgive you. When has it ever told you that I forgive you for what you did to the life I created? Never. It's never happened. That's bullshit. When do you ever get a chance to be forgiven? You don't. You got to ask the person. But what does that mean? That's why they say forgiveness is for you. What does it mean to forgive somebody? What is the action behind it? Taking them back like nothing happened? Trusting them again? Hell no. That'll never happen. Let me read some of these comments real quick. What about lions and carnivores? You know what's crazy? I was thinking about that. I just seen this dude eating a fucking pig's face. He ate the nose and everything. That shit was so nasty. I don't know why they sent me that video, but I was thinking about if humans ran out of animals, do y'all believe they would start eating each other? Would y'all think they'd start eating each other? You think people would believe they gotta start eating other humans because they need protein? I believe what happened is, like, think about somebody who might grow up in the gang. A lot of people, parents grew up in gangs. And so whatever they showing their kid, that's how they become most of the time. Think about if you watch Animal Planet, how a lion or a cheetah, they got the kids with them and they showing them how to hunt, right? How do they know what to go after? Because they were showed. It's the same thing that happened to us, but everybody not the same. I don't believe that Noah's Ark and everything like that, but imagine if it was real and they had two of every animal on there. How come they didn't eat each other then? That's what I be asking. I believe at some point it was a certain type of food on this earth for all of us to be able to eat. You know, they say lions, they need to eat meat. Well, how come the gorilla is bigger and it don't? This is just what nature, this is just what life has turned into. I don't believe we used to eat the animals. It's hard to believe that God created life with a purpose to be food. But then we got food that grow on the ground. We got water that come from the sky. And only humans can go hungry. Only humans can be starving. Well, not necessarily, but you know what I mean? Like asking for food. Everything else, they just go and get that shit. Ain't it crazy? I remember they said God calmed the animals, right? But then what happened afterwards? They decided to say, you know what, fuck it. Now y'all can kill each other. I don't believe that. That's what people say though. But think about this. This is why I love this shit. Because if that was the right thing to do, then what would be the wrong thing to do? To keep them calm so everybody can live peacefully on Earth, every animal and species? See, that's the reason why actions speak louder than words. That's the reason why I created the name Planet Reality, because we can talk about this shit all day, but like I always say, actions speak louder than words. So if the world's supposed to be the way it is, if this is the right thing, then what would be the wrong thing? To be the opposite? To be more peaceful? I doubt it. If lying is okay, then what is the wrong thing? Telling the truth? You gotta have it one way or the other. But a lot of people think that it's a third choice because you can tell yourself that, but it's not a real thing. No, we only starving because we got a mind. That's why you got a mind where it's like you can think you got problems. You know, people take their life. Animals don't do that. Animals don't force themselves on each other and do the crazy stuff that we do for a reason. Because they don't have the mind to do it like us. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see people starving and the food grow from the ground and the water come from the sky, something has to be wrong with the humans to not just go get that instead of going to work for 2 weeks to get it. See what I'm saying? You're going to work for 2 weeks to get your resources to survive. Any other animal leave for the day, they coming back with something. I used to watch the ducks all the time, right? They get up early when I get up, and they walking around trying to find food and water. Soon as they done, they playing around and shit. They in the water, and it be a whole bunch of them. And then when they get hungry again, they do the same thing. They don't go to work for 10 hours and leave their family unprotected to come back with nothing. Oh, I had a long day. And what you got? Oh, nothing. If this was a long time ago and we act like this in real life, we would basically be dead by now. Think about it. We would be dead because you be going to work and you coming back with nothing. And it's like, not only are they taking money, like who's paying you? Well, here's your money so you can go get the resources that God gave you for free. Why do you think it's illegal to plant a garden? But you know it's our fault because we being controlled by governments that we are part of. All of the people who control the world, they gotta fucking follow the rules too. You seen how they try to do Trump, right? Now he the president again, but you see how they tried to do him. They don't care who you are. This shit is set up based off of people that don't exist no more. And we all just following rules of a system that's not fucking real. And this is why people say all the time, I want to make it out. They don't even know what that is. They think making it out is like being rich. Y'all see what's happening with Diddy and all these other people that got money? You see how they act and how wicked they are? Because that ain't, having money ain't making it out. God never made money. Basically, if you want to make it out, that means getting out of your mind. That's what you got to make it out of to live in the real world. To understand that this is a society that people are created under, people belong to. That's why the relationships end like that. You find people end up like single because it's always somebody else that society has to offer. They want to see what's out there. It's like, you know what they say, people belong to the streets. No, they belong to society, social media, a group of people. It's like everybody just gotta go back there. They'll have a family and ruin that shit. Something else is out there that I gotta, and it's just crazy when you think about it. A lot of people get their money and they move outside of the city for a reason. Because you ain't a slave no more. Yeah, that's crazy as hell. You're not a slave no more. You see all these people bunched together, especially if you go to third world countries. They got apartment buildings, shit, the damn near in space. It's crazy, ain't it? And then, like you said, greed, right? That shit, the money not even real. But as long as everybody don't got it, somebody can feel more secure with themselves. You know, it's like laughing at somebody because they don't got something you got, but what you have is supposed to be special and you not busy enjoying that. You happy because somebody else don't got it. That's what it is. This is why they created classes. Like somebody will say, you're not on my level. What does that mean? I'm top tier. There's different tiers of human now. I thought it was just people that made good choices and bad choices. But you know, it's a lot of bullshit that's going on. It's a lot of people who tell themselves all type of crazy shit, and it don't make nothing true. It's amazing. We all live in our own world, but we live in the same world together, and that's why people can't connect how they supposed to. No matter what, you could be in a house with people, you're not connected. Do you know history showed us that people, like parents, will take their kids' life just like the kids will take their parents' life? So imagine the safest place in the world is your home, and you're not even safe there. What kind of place is this? That's crazy. Like, why would you want to lead your kids here to this unless you just don't know? It's kind of like I was talking about with the whole pool thing. Why would you get in a dating pool with piss unless you don't know that's what's in there? We really don't know, right? Because soon as something happened, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. What's wrong with the world? You said that shit 10 years ago. Yeah, they've been saying this the end time since I've been alive. That's fucking crazy. Because soon as something happened, we can be hit with reality, which means we wasn't living there the whole time. We somewhere else, right? Once you actually hit with reality, then you can send your thoughts and condolences. But once that's over, you back into your thoughts. And it's crazy how it works, because more people will keep doing the type of shit that they see happening to people. You don't have to send your thoughts and condolences. When you see something bad happen, and just make sure you're not that type of person. That's what the goal is. But a lot of people are fake. Oh, my heart goes out to, no, it don't. That school shooting that happened in Wisconsin, like this the city that I live in, right? It happened not too far from here. Now when you go to the churches, they got like more security. Like you gotta like ring the buzzer and shit. But the thing is this, it's back open. How is the school back? Like how would you be able to go? Why would you send your kids back there? That's crazy. Unless you don't know. Unless you don't have a choice. What else you gonna do? Right? You wanna keep paying your bills? Like, I just got this crib. No matter what, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? It's freezing. You have no choice. So you gotta figure out how to make it out for real. And if you go to work and that's all you do, it ain't gonna happen. Somebody said something smart. You gotta have something to sell in a world like this. Otherwise, you're gonna always be working for people. You ain't gonna never be able to retire comfortably unless you're willing to work extra hard to save, but you shouldn't have to do all that. That's crazy. Hold on, what'd you say about the government? Yeah, the contradictions. Do you know the government? They got people out here believing that God is dead. It's gonna come back one day. That's like somebody dead coming back one day. That's exactly what God is, right? God is life. That life is God. What y'all mean is gonna come back? It's already here. And we see how you feel about it, because that's how you treat it. Value everything that we create, everything we can think about. Those are just thoughts, words, and images. Don't mean nothing. Don't make the world a better place. It's just like they say, oh, the world is flat, or there's aliens and dinosaurs and Jesus and devil. And what does it do for what we doing to each other? Nothing. You just tell yourself bullshit so we can be distracted, not make a real difference. That's what's happening. But you know, for people to not really want to make a difference, it's two things happening. It's like you either, like I said, with the whole pool thing, it's like you might be the one pissing in it, which is how you know how to maneuver through this. You okay with it, or you the person that don't know. It's crazy. No, God ain't coming back because they say God is always with you. So where is it coming back from? It was never dead. Think about it. God is always with you, and when it's not, people have funerals. That's why. That's because the body is not God. It's not who we are. It's just the hold of the spirit. So when they tell a story like, oh, Jesus was God, and they want y'all to believe humans killed God, that's the stupidest shit in the world. And people believe it. Right? But if God is life and life is living, it's impossible to kill it. Because living and death is two different things. God is only living. And people don't understand that. That's why we're alive right now. That's crazy. So when you die, or when your body dies, you don't die. See what I'm saying? Because God never died. Like, whatever is keeping you alive is going to always be positivity. It's going to always be positive energy. It's going to always be here somewhere. That's what's crazy. Like, a lot of people don't understand that. They think that God is something in the sky that you got to pray to and worship. They say God is the Father. We are the children. They say God is the Father and the Son. They want you to be crazy. And how you going to be two things that you the Father and the Son? Yeah, that's what everybody is that got kids. You got a father and you got a son if you got a son. Like, that shit don't even make sense. God is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. No, God is simply just life. It don't need to be nothing else. You know what I'm saying? They just tell you it's a lot of things to confuse you. Well, it's the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, it's Jesus, Buddha, Allah, and I. Yeah, okay. Whatever. It's the life that you see. That's what's real. That's why they say seeing is believing. But people are afraid, though. It's like, oh, I'm going to go to hell if I don't believe this. And hell is already here. What do you mean? You worried about afterlife. What about the one you just turn on the news and hear about? What about the one you read the history book about? It's already here. Right? You could take a first-class flight to hell right now. Y'all know where that is? It's in Israel. Because they believe in the Jesus thing more than anybody. And you see what they doing? Everybody see what they doing. And this country stand with them. They sending them money so they can keep doing it. Nope. Yeah, but in reality, it's the Father, the Son. If God is life, that means that life is God, which means every life that you see on earth. So it's the animals too. But imagine this, though. Imagine if you believed you was a person. Imagine if we can convince ourselves we're people and these are animals. It ain't God no more now. So it don't matter what you do to it. You get what I'm saying? You could convince yourself that this is a person. This is why we get treated like people. Look at the history of how humans and animals get treated. And look how people claim to feel about God. But imagine if they knew that's what you was. Would you go through what you go through? Would people be able to manipulate each other the way they do it? No, they'd be terrified. See what I'm saying? But it's like, that's why I say actions speak louder than words, right? Because you can say, oh, you're a person, you are a man or a woman, but what is the action behind it? You can't describe it. It's just a thing. Like what? How could you prove what it really is based off of the actions? Nothing, dog. You can say that this thing has a life. That's all you can say. Have you ever seen a weird ass creature? Like, what the fuck is that? I don't know, but it got a life. It's moving and trying to breathe and shit. It's the same thing. You can put any word, you can call us whatever you want to call us, but what is the action behind it? This is life right here. And what is life? God. It's simple, man. But they got people going to church to read about who God really is. Like, it's supposed to be your father, but you got to read about it. Oh yeah, God gonna return one day. That's like the little kid who thought his father was coming back from the store with the pack of cigarettes. He's never returning because it's never a real thing. This dude, like, it's not real. How come you would call that man a deadbeat, but you'll give God a pass because you scared, right? If God was who they try to describe it as, that would be a deadbeat. That would be the devil, right? Send you to hell. That's all you do is show up for the part where you send people to hell, huh? I don't believe that bullshit. That's crazy. They try to paint the picture to make it seem like God is what's evil. But if you notice, they don't name none of the schools after Jesus. They'll name the school after the devil. Why do y'all think that is? The Blue Devils and the Demon Deacons and shit like that. Why do you think Halloween is a holiday? Like, the #1 costume is the devil. A bunch of demons and monsters and shit. That's crazy. People don't understand. Like, yeah, it's a contradiction. You can prove if you're a male or female. Yeah, that's different. I'm not talking about that bullshit. I ain't, because you know people, you will get bad if you say the wrong thing. Now, I'm not talking about being confused about genders and shit. I'm talking about, like, when the woman dies and when the man dies, or whatever people identify as, when this dies, whatever was keeping them alive is what they really are, is what I'm saying. So you could say it's a woman, but that's just words that you calling it. You get what I'm saying? Like what is a woman? How could you describe it? Oh, it's something that can have babies. Shit, it holds the baby. Like, that's basically, that's all it holds the baby. That's what you can simplify it to. But other than that, most of it is like what makes them different besides the body parts and the functions. Nothing, because your mind is what tells you what to do and how you gonna live and how you gonna think. It's why a lot of women and men do the same shit. They got prisons for everybody. Women treat men good, men treat women good. They both treat each other bad. Because at the end of the day, we all out here just making choices. Even the dogs. Dogs making a choice. Like, she made a choice to rip up the blinds earlier and fucked everything up. And it looked like that shit got melted. She was chewing the fuck out of that shit. But it's crazy. Yeah, man. The people who go to church, I feel bad for people that believe that, because they trick those people. You got to read about God. It's the same way you got to read to know how to do the stuff we supposed to naturally know how to do. It's the same thing. They take away real intelligence and they give you back bullshit and they charge you for it every time. That's how you'll know. You think I'm lying? Think about it for a second. They take all the natural intelligence from us and they sell it back to you. And it's always the bullshit. It's the watered down version. All the way down to the food. Make you pay for the food and it's poison that you buy. This is what you eat 3 times a day. And that's why we the #1 country for obesity. Yeah, they got us fucked up. This is why coronavirus was so bad. Yeah, they got us fucked up in this country. People don't understand that. But that's what it is, man. I've been on here for, 40 minutes? This shit is easy. We don't even gotta write this down. This is the world we live in. A lot of people don't get it, though. The most important thing in the world is supposed to be family. And if you think about the fact that people don't value that, that should let you know that, yeah, this shit is bad. All the way down to being forced to send your kids to school with strangers, where the kids known to be touched on by the teachers, where the kids known to be in a mass shooting. Even going to the malls, to the movie theaters and the nightclubs, you know what can happen. People go to Walmart. Why won't it be this time? Why are we still here? See what I'm saying? Why? Why? And a lot of people got that mentality where it's like, it's because I'm special. I must got a purpose. I must be here for a reason. It's that survivor's mentality. We think we special. But imagine if it was just all random. That's what make it worse. That's what make it more unfair. This is why it makes it more important that we understand the choices that we make and that we share the world with each other. But you know what make it hard? Having governments that teach religion and God, that keep this shit in place exactly how it is. No matter how much people think it's getting better, it's not. Because people live in their mind, they'll tell themselves growing up, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words never hurt. But what are people getting canceled for? What is getting canceled? People saying things, saying words that hurt your feelings so much that you gonna march and protest. But when a kid's school gets shot up, they ain't ever marching to cancel that shit ever. They'll never do it. Ain't it amazing you can get all the energy in the world for Dave Chappelle because he said some words. But the kids can die at school every week. And nobody will ever move to protest and cancel nothing. Nobody will ever hold the government to the standard and question why they got the #1 army and they ain't sending some of them soldiers to every school that they got people going to. Because it's all government shit. The army, the school, right? Why do you think it's tax-free? Because that's a government facility. Same thing as a church, tax-free because it's a government facility. People don't get it though. All of that shit is bullshit. Whether you're going to church or to school, or you're voting for the government and politics. No matter what you call God, it ain't the real thing. And once I found that out, you know what popped in my head? You gotta stop eating animals. I knew it right away. Because if God is life, and it created these things for a purpose, and you going against that, you exactly what you think the devil is. No matter what you tell yourself to sleep better at night. Subscribe to my YouTube, Planet Reality. We gonna be here tomorrow and probably after that every day.